What's up YouTube? It's Trip here once again. Today I'm going to be doing a quick video talking about this new book that I just finished up. Got it right there and right here. It's called The Flame Between Us. I just finished up my third draft of it and it's getting to a state where I'm pretty happy with it. But I'm looking for some beta readers. I want to get some people to read it, tell me what they think about it. Hopefully there's not too much more work to be done before it's ready to start looking for an agent, and in the long term I hope to traditionally publish this and really get it out to a lot of people. So if you're interested in beta reading, I will have some links below in the description. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what the novel is about and what you can expect from it. So the book's called The Flame Between Us. It's a 140,000 word adult epic fantasy novel. Essentially it follows a couple of main characters. The first one is going to be Henri Batiste. He's a young captain in the Roselandia military. He just got promoted and they're sending him to an outpost far to the north on a colony called Isolot. As he understands it, he's going there to take care of some pirates, and the military basically functions as the constables within the town. So he's going to be doing some easy work. He plans to stay for 2 months, get another promotion, get the money he needs to pay for his family's extravagant debts. However, things quickly go off plan when the colony's governor blackmails him into marching on a tribe of natives, and he's instructed to enslave them all. Henri is hesitant to say the least, but he's a compliant, loyal soldier, and he's going to do what he has to do, which is follow orders. Which brings us to our second and third character. Second character being Evie Sunagarda. She is the daughter of the tribe's chief, and she is a skilled pyromancer, so she can snap and they can make flames. If you've ever seen Full Metal Alchemist, Colonel Mustang, that's what inspired it. It's so fun, the magic. They all can use fire, but they're in this cold, frozen land, and so making the fire takes the body heat, and so you've got this awesome tool that's going to help you in the cold, but you also have to deal with the fact that using it makes you colder, and you're at very high risk of hypothermia. Anyways, back to Evie. She is dealing with the fact that her family is constantly arguing, and she hates when people argue, and she just wants everything to be okay. And then these Roselandia people show up and capture her entire tribe. They know she can use fire. They don't know that the rest of the tribe can use fire, so they take an interest in her, and they're trying to turn her into a weapon. And of course, she just wants everybody to be happy and friendly, and they're making her do violence, which is very frustrating for her. And then our third main character is going to be her older brother, Zav. And so Zav is coming of age. A big part of this tribe's tradition is that they are hunters. Hunting is a way of life for them. But Zav, he is a pacifist, and he hates violence, and that's the one thing he's expected to be good at, and he doesn't want to do that. But of course, his whole tribe got captured while he was away. For reasons you'll see, it's up to Zav to try to save his tribe. And that's kind of the gist of the book. In a nutshell. It's a pretty fun story. There's lots of action and adventure. I like to think the characters are pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for other people to read it and tell me what you think about it. That's kind of the gist of the book. I'm going to do, this second part of the video is going to be a little bit more of a behind the scenes. It's a little bit more targeted towards other writers, but anybody might find it interesting. So yeah, this is the third draft of this book. This was the first draft. This was the second draft. This is the third draft. I kept the cover because I think the cover started to look good, but I made it smaller. And it's worth noting the cover art here is not mine. This is not legally for sale. I can only give it to people as a gift because I don't own the cover art. I don't know who the artist is. Hey, Trip from editing here. So I did figure out who the artist was. It's Andreas Rocha. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name, but I will put it on the screen, of course. And I'll put a link to his website in the description. He's actually got a ton of really cool art, so I highly recommend you guys check it out and support him. Hopefully he's okay with me using it for a couple of mock-up personal copies. But yeah, check out his stuff, it's really good. Put his name somewhere and thank him profusely. But yeah, I can't legally sell that, and the versions, the beta copies I have for you guys to read are just PDFs, no cover on them. So they are legal, but they're not technically for sale, they're just for beta purposes. All that legal, whatever. Yeah, this is the third draft of this book. This first draft was about 83,000 words, and it was the second thing I ever wrote, second novel I ever wrote. It was good for what it was, but it was not good. And then the second draft was a crazy big improvement. The novel got twice as long. This one's 164,000 words, I want to say. I added all these interlude flashbacks that were exploring each of the characters' backgrounds, and they added so much depth. I love those interludes, but I got some valuable feedback that encouraged me to get rid of those because they really messed up the pacing of the book. So this new version is about 25,000 words shorter, and there's no interlude flashbacks in it. It's just one straight through narrative. I do think it's a lot stronger for it, and other than that, I had to do some rearranging in the kind of second and third, the second act. I really consider this book to have 4 acts, but the second big act, you know, it's like got a beginning, big middle, and an end. So that whole middle, I had to do a lot of rearranging things, moving around, because I realized I kind of had, where I had like I split the middle up in half basically. So there's second act, third act, fourth act. Is how I think of it. I think about it. So the second and third acts, kind of the same thing happened twice in both acts, just a little different. So I ended up being able to combine those into one thing basically, and just have everything happen once. And I think that helped a lot. I think it made it a lot stronger just for doing that. I did a lot of rewriting for Zov's arc in the first, especially in the first part, because it just kind of was falling flat when I first reread it, and I wanted to change some things about that, and the changes really helped, I think. And I have some more changes in mind already, actually, that I've decided I'm going to do and lean into a little bit, and I think those will help, but that'll be for the next draft, you know. So yeah, I really think the characters are coming along. I think the plot is quite solid. The world building has always been one of the strongest parts of this novel. I think the world's super immersive. It's so cool. There's lots of magical creatures, but they feel completely, you know, integrated into the setting. It's really cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty great. That's why I'm so eager for this beta feedback, so I can find some of the things that I have gone blind to over my course of working on this. I put in about a combined almost a year or so of time on this book. Each draft took me roughly 4 months, and I'm on draft number 3, so right about a year's worth of work on the book. And I think it's very close, but yeah, hopefully this will be the last significant round of revisions I have to do. And then I'll start looking for an agent. If that goes nowhere, eventually I'll self-publish it, but I do want to give an agent a good shot, because although this book's a little over the soft word cap of like 120,000 for fantasy debuts, I don't think 140 is out of reach. And I think if I absolutely had to, I could get it down to 130, although I really think it's already feeling sparse as it is. So I don't want to have to cut it too much if possible. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. What trials and tribulations did I face writing this book? Probably the biggest one was just the time frame of how long it took me to edit it. Seeing as this was a third draft, when I went into it in January, I was like, I'll just do this for a month, knock it out, start writing another book. It's going to be great. January happened, and I was almost done with the first act, and I was like, I might need to reconsider how long this is going to take. But I was still optimistic. I thought I could speed things up and breeze, because, you know, the first act had the biggest rewrites. I thought the rest I'll just breeze through, finish it in another month. February finishes, and I just finished Act 2, so it ended up being about an act a month in terms of the rewrites. But I will say I tend to edit very chronologically and make some small and large-scale changes as I go. So rather than going through the book like 30 times to fixing different things, I just go through it the one time a little bit more meticulously, slowly. And it's been working for me so far, but I am not the best at editing yet. It's still something I'm working on, because I just haven't had the opportunity to edit that many things yet, but I am pretty proud of what I've done with this one. I think it's come a long way in this edit, especially from where it started. And now that I'm drafting a new book again, I'm like, oh, I forgot how much work drafting is. Like, I think editing's hard, drafting's even harder. And by the time I finish drafting, I'll be back to editing, thinking editing's harder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much more to talk about. I'm excited for you guys to read this. Let me know what you think. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.